Salutations and praise the table. Today I will be reviewing Gigana, the Vorox Queen. Now I realize it has been, in typical Inaru fashion, updated a fair bit since I've posted it. Sorry, that's just how I roll. Can't do much about that. It has been a while since I posted it though, so this was bound to happen. So Gigana, the Vorox Queen. Her name is Gigana, because she's the biggest MOC I have right now, and it was, you know, it sounds cool, it sounds powerful. So this MOC has been criticized for, you know, having the blue color scheme not looking enough like a Vorox, I'd say. To that I say, fair point. I am not particularly well stocked in tan and dark brown or whatever else Vorox has. I never even got the set. But you know, I just wanted to make a scorpion thing, and the closest equivalent in Bionicle was Vorox. So I guess if I'm going by my own canon, this wouldn't be a Vorox at all. But anyway, let's dive right into them plastic shin equivalents. Would this have any shins? I'm not sure. You tell me. So let's start with the legs. Actually, never mind. There is a few things I forgot to mention. I've listed as my inspiration for this MOC Shadowgear's Obelisk and the Catapult Scorpion from the Rahi handbook. Now, when I say inspiration, I do not mean reference. I was not looking at either of those when I made this, so don't expect this to share features from either of them. Just general sort of general sort of, if you mix this and this, it would make this, probably. So, I'm not saying it should look like either of those, just generally reminds me of them, I'd say. Now, without further ado, let's dive into those plastic shins. These legs have been fixed a fair bit. We have these Matoran daggers as the tip of the foot, sort of. What is it? You know, arachnid leg. Nothing much to say about that, you know. Let's move up a little bit to the midsection of the leg. Now, this Vaki leg, I love this. It's very useful, but last time I posted it, it was bare. And that was a mistake, but I didn't have, like, any of these in stock, and I basically ordered 6 of them just to cover the legs. Which was, you know, that shows how important this MOC is to me if I make a Bricklink order specifically for it. I replaced the middle leg. It used to be one of those weird Paraka, the right arms, and you know, people hated it because it didn't match. And I guess I finally saw it myself, and I'm like, yeah, I guess that doesn't work very well. So I got one of these gray ones and painted it because I didn't have any. I didn't have enough blue Vaki ones. I just didn't. So yeah, this ball joint here is going to be forever gray, because any paint I put on there is going to be scratched off immediately by the movement of the foot, sort of thing. I mean, it doesn't move very much, so maybe I could get away with it, but I just generally make it a point not to paint ball joints, because it just doesn't work. So, force of habit, I guess. I guess maybe I should paint it. So, and the paint isn't very good either. It from a distance, it doesn't look too bad, like, it just kind of blends in, but upon close inspection, it's not the same color. It's kind of a mess. So let's go to the top section of the legs. It's these Hero Factory. Let's give you a little bottom view. It's these Hero Factory gray bits, and because they're completely covered, I can use them in gray, and nobody will care, and because nobody will see them. So yeah, nothing much to say about that. They are connected via these black Inika limbs, and these sort of make up the scaffolding for the main body. It's actually kind of hollow under here. So yeah, that's what's underneath. Not much. Let's get over to the humanoid section and work our way up from there. So this pelvis sort of thing is, it's got these Mata hands, Slicer Mata hands. Slicer shoulders, but Mata hands. They're a weird piece, and I got a few of them to see what I could do, and what you can do is put two ball joints in there, and they can make a joint that does not move a hinge. It only hinges one way. So this piece right here, people hate it. I find it a little annoying. I'm trying to think of a way I can smooth it out and get rid of all these bubbles as per usual, but it's just such a useful shape that I find myself using it anyway. So, whatevs. These Roxy heads here, they're a little bit posable, but there's no point because, you know, it can move completely freely without them moving at all, so that's just the point of attachment. So, let's see. Oh, something came loose. False alarm, nothing's loose, the MOC is loose. I suck. So this, things falling apart. This pelvis thing here, let's look at the back of it. It's got this Nuva Metru chest on the back of it. And, not much to say about that. So this... Oh, by the way, there's even another one on the back. Another one of these. Lovely. So, the, a bit farther up, new chest. It's a dark blue Nuva chest. I do not know what set this is from, but I wanted it when I saw it on Bricklink. Yeah, I realize that a few people are thinking that blue is supposed to go underneath, but I don't really kind of know how they would think that when there was this on the top and that on the top and that on her head, on the top of her head. I guess if I tried to properly layer this, it would basically look just completely silver, and it would be very boring. So I tried, minus these exceptions, to keep blue underneath, but generally it's kind of just, I suck at color layering. Let's get into the construction of this chest a little bit. Let's take this off and give you a look-see. It is a limb piece. This chest is made of a limb. Two limbs, actually. A Metru limb and a Metru limb. So this chest is the arm of a Toa Metru. Pretty weird. And the arms are basically attached via this armor piece, which is a little bit of a... I don't know. I don't know how... I do not know how I feel about that. So, yeah, that's a thing. These tubes here, I love them. They fill up the torso so they don't make her look anorexic. But something I find about this torso is it's a little too long for me to just take it off at the hip here and then put like human legs on it. So that's something I would like to do, but the body is just a little too long to accomplish that without it looking extremely incredibly awkward. So that's one dream flushed down the toilet, but small disappointment that is, because the rest of this is just really freaking awesome. Let's go up a little further, and these. I got these from the Brain Attack Breeze, and they're a pretty cool piece, but I've never used them before. They just never freaking fit anywhere, and they finally just fit here. So, you know, but they do swivel. That's a little bit annoying. And then these spikes here just always spinning around. I can never get them to just stay down because, like, whenever I move it, it'll somehow turn one around before I take a picture, and then I have to completely retake it just because that little thing is just like upside down while the other one is fine. So annoying. Let's get to the arms before the head. These arms are fairly simple. They're just Hero Factory arms. Basic as basic can be. Let's, you know, there was a complaint by one Venom of TTV, but that the arms were just black, and because, you know, they assumed that the bottom layer is blue, and it kind of is, but and then the arms were just completely black, and that kind of just didn't look good. So the hands were already blue, as you can see, but I painted this one. I might paint this one, but there's this piece above it, and that would just make it look kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe I should paint that too. But in the same, a little bit more purple than dark blue, annoying color. But it does the job at a distance when you're not staring at it with a microscope like I am. So yeah, this upper arm design is from myself, Makinaru, and just, it doesn't have the Pakari as a pauldron, and it's got this cool serrated blade thing here. And it's got this little Exoforce claw here to hold it in, and that's really nice. I actually painted this one too. This was purple before. The hand, I fixed the thumb. It was super terrible before. I just kept making excuses to myself, and finally got around to just getting another set of these awesome finger pieces. And I gave the index finger a little bit longer of a claw to kind of suggest like a scorpion claw, but actually having fingers. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of a halfway between like having claws on your hand and having just like pincy claw. So yeah, this is kind of the best of both worlds. It kind of looks like a claw, but it's got all the functionality of a hand. Let's get up to that beautimous head. And then the tail, I guess. So this head is super freaking custom. The base of it, I'd say, is this hand here. And then this skull spider is attached to that hand, and I don't know how safe it would be to start taking it apart because I might have to cut out to put it back together. So, you know, it's really, really custom. Let's see. Can I, like, Alright, so if any of you were wondering, that's what's underneath. This flops about without anything under it. Let's see. Miracles! Perfect. Alright. So this head, I really love this head. It's pretty original, I'd say. It's got this stud for teeth. It's got these bricks under here to fill it up. It's got all these little white claws, and it just looks really powerful and kind of intimidating. And it's a lot better of a custom head than, well, I prefer this kind of custom head over the kind of stuff that Shadow Gear does, because it's just kind of completely made of bricks, and it kind of looks like it doesn't belong there, unless the entire rest of the MOC has a lot of bricks too. But I generally, that's not my cup of tea. Just having a head made of completely bricks is not my favorite. So I generally like to incorporate some sort of smooth or detailed Bionicle piece, and that's about it for the head. It's got these little hair sort of claw things in the back that can pose. They're new. They used to be just skull spider claws, so it looked like there was kind of just a skull spider stuck on her head, and she was just wearing a skull spider. Which she kind of was on her tail too, until I took those claws off. They were just... Oh yeah, a little bit of heresy right here. You're not supposed to do that, because that kind of pushes the claw thing apart. But hey, screw purism. That is not me. Let's get to the tail. Well, I didn't mention this, but this armor coverage is pretty nice. That's all I'm saying for that. The tail, I stripped it a little bit. It used to have a few more details, but it kind of started looking just too fat relative to the rest of the MOC. And it still kind of does, but, you know, because if I took the humanoid body off the front, it would actually look really, really big. So I guess it's kind of just like a counterweight to this humanoid body up here. And that works. You know, like a T-Rex's tail with its massive, massive head. So these, it has the same sort of jointage as the upper body, actually, just these are a little closer together, and I had to use actual ball joints, which I'm loath to do, in the construction thereof. And this skull spider, it used to have claws on it, like sort of keeping it on, but it was staying on by itself well enough, and the claws just kind of made it look like there was a skull spider stuck to her, so meh. And this tube here, this tubey tube here, I got this from, I'd say, a Lego Star Wars set that I got for Christmas, because I never ask for that stuff. I never buy that stuff myself. But hey, I'm not going to turn it down. It's free bricks. So this was a pretty nice piece that came with Luke's hovercraft. And there were 2 of them, which was perfect. And it just generally supports this big tail and helps it not collapse in on itself and helps it stay up, which is very, very nice. This armor here, I got this hoping to make a sort of Hero Factory MOC, but I ended up using it here, and that's a little bit of a shame, I'd say, but it just fits so perfectly. I can't put it anywhere else now, because this MOC is so freaking excellent. And another tube here in the front, which sort of prevents it from bending very much, but really it doesn't need to, because if it had to bend, it just, you know, it would like collide with her head. So it just generally doesn't have to bend very much, which is not a problem. I mean, I think if I had to like put a scorpion head right here and take off the humanoid body, I would probably take this off, but then I'd have to like make the tail a lot thinner. So that's a thing. That is a thing. Moving on up the rest of the tail, it's just a bunch of Hero Factory stuff. It's these just these basic Hero Factory limbs. I wish they were in black. I wish I had more in black. I wish they never made these in gray, because gray sucks. Unless you're making a MOC that is all gray and has no black, which is probably very hard to do. So yeah, nothing too complicated here. Let's move up. Now this is an Inico limb, and it's just covered with all these greebly stuff. We got these greebles right here. They're posable, but they're not supposed to be. Nothing to really keep them there, but they do fill up some of the annoying empty space that would be very ugly. Actually, I think one of the reasons I had to have this support here is because this Inico limb is so weak. The dark blue is probably second weakest next to the freaking infamous lime. And basically all of them that I have are broken except for this one. So there's a few statistics for you. The tube terminates right up here, and that's basically where it's held. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the tube begins right here, and it can sort of swivel, but it swivels independently of the tail, and that looks a little weird when you're posing it, but when it's staying still, it's pretty alright. Moving up to the rest of the tail. We got one of those rejected Paraka arms, and it's got a fair bit of junk on top of it to fit the natural curve of the tail. And this looks pretty alright. Not really from the front, because you can see right inside it, it's pretty hollow. There's no connection points in there, which makes me a little bit sad. But nothing more to say about that. Let's get to the real showstopper for this MOC. That. I freaking love that. I never, as a kid, never had any of the Lego sets that had this launcher thing. And I always wanted it. One of my friends had one, and I was just so jealous. But I saw one on Bricklink, and I immediately put it in the cart. Just, dang. I need... So, yeah, this is the part that would remind you of the Catapult Scorpion. So yeah, who needs to pose your tail, very much? You're not having to really reach very far to sting, because that's not going to reach much farther than the arm. Yeah, so it's not really going to be a melee sort of weapon. It is a ranged weapon for sure. And I love this little safety thing. It's like the actual point of the claw, but it's so if you fire it doesn't fire. But if you want to fire it, you can just raise it. And I always think of this action of raising this claw as a very, very threatening action. If you've seen that picture where Turbo is sitting on her and she's just got this raised, aimed at her head, just kill, 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 kill. That was hilarious to me. So, yeah, that's, it's got another skull spider on top to fill up the space that would, and follow the natural curve of the tail. It's really nice. So yeah. What else is there to talk about? You know, I don't know. I do not know. What have not I talked about? Is there anything left? Oh yeah, she can sort of hold it in her hand. Oh, if her hand doesn't fall apart, and treat it like, sort of, treat it as if it were like a shoulder-mounted bazooka. So just like, she can kind of aim it this way. Just aim it. So that's how she would aim, you know? So her aim isn't very good when it's all the way up here behind her head, so that's how it's done. That's how you defeat your enemies. And if you miss, you will surely die. So that has been Gigana, the Vorox Queen. I'm an ROST. Bye-bye.